Yes. All trimmed up, cleaned up, ready for the new week. I'm Richard with the Hunter-Gatherer Society. And normally when you see me, Dozer and I, we're out doing something wild. We're chasing wild mushrooms, wild plants. We're looking for teas, or we're just exploring a trail or a waterway somewhere. Maybe we're doing a little stealth camping, a little urban camping. But the weather's kind of poor today. It's pretty windy, rainy, and so indoors today, doing a few projects. One of which, cleaning up for the week to come. As many of you know, I was out of work with COVID for quite a while, had a near-death experience, but I'm back on my feet, back up and running, and for the first time in a couple months, it's time to get back to work. So decided to clean up a little bit. While I was doing that, I got the beard ready, cleaned it up, using my little beard kit, and little essential oil for the beard, little wax. Clean it up real nice. Of course, I've got my little trimmer, and I think everybody has to have a little, little mushroom, or not mushroom, little mustache brush. That helps clean it up really nice. But I normally don't talk about this stuff, but I want to talk about manscaping just a little bit. Using essential oils for us guys is no different than the gals, and this is something that I do use for my beard. What many people may not know is that essential oils can be very, very good for hair growth, for filling in a beard. So if you're trying to grow it faster, you're trying to fill it in, you just want healthier, thicker beard, essential oils can be a really good tool for that, especially if you're using like lavender, basil, something like that. And it's super easy to make. Of course, you can buy it online, but why buy it? If you have a garden, a patio garden, or if you're a forager, just go ahead and make your own. It's super simple. Olive oil is very, very good for beard growth. And of course, most of us have that around the house. It's easy to work with, and it's relatively inexpensive, especially if you're a Costco member, which I am. So you get the giant olive oil. And super easy to use, super easy to make, and it lasts a long time. So I'm not going to go through the whole process. This is pretty simple stuff, but I did want to kind of share with you how I do it and how I use it, and just a little something different on our channel today since I can't be out in the woods foraging. Now, as far as the herbs that you use, if you're a forager, there's certainly, Bidens, Alba, things like that. They're not going to have a scent to them, but they're going to have a lot of nutrients in them, which is going to be good for filling that beard in or growing the beard faster. And combined with the oils, it'll just help make the beard much healthier. And there's other herbs, of course, that we do, that we forage that have very distinct scents to them. And if you do, and there are ones that you like, use those, incorporate those into it. You can also use ones that you grow. So for example, I use basil and I use lavender. So for today's batch, I use a combination. Oh, there you go. Just go ahead and make a little mess there. That's perfect. So by the way, guys, if you make a mess like that, it's really best if you leave it. Women love it when we do that. So you make a big mess, oils and herbs and, whatever you've been working with, and then leave that. It's a great way to impress them. So especially if you're well shaven, leave that there. They're going to be extra impressed. But this is a combination of purple basil and regular basil. I like that. I really love the smell of basil. And so that's going to be the batch that I made today. Now, the one that's been in the cabinet for a while is going to be lavender. And it's got a real mild scent to it. I like that. I don't want it to be real strong. I'm not the type of person that's going to wear a lot of cologne. Now, I will wear cologne if I'm going out in the evening or something. Maybe it's date night, whatever the case may be. I'm not going to do it if I'm traveling or if I'm at work because the scent that I like might not be a scent that someone else likes, especially if they're packed in next to me in let's say an airplane or something like that, or in a tight office. So I tend not to wear strong scents at those times. So I like it to be very mild. That way that I can use it all the time. So the lavender gives it a nice sweet smell. Be a great evening addition to your beard, so that it moisturizes it, helps it grow in. And of course, lavender is a calming scent and something that would work very well in the evenings. But it's not strong enough to where you couldn't use it in the mornings or any time during the day. I think it's a great addition. The lavender I grew out on the patio, and this is a very, very simple process. So we're simply going to take a jar, any jar. Okay, so this is the basil. And I've just added the herbs in, just threw them in the jar, right? packed them down a little bit so they're tight, and then I just pour the olive oil into the jar so that it covers the basil. Then I seal that up nice and tight. That's going to go in the pantry for about 4 to 6 weeks. Now, you can leave it in there for a dozen weeks if you want. It doesn't matter. It's not going to go bad on you. The herbs in the oil is not going to affect its shelf life. So this is going to last as long as olive oil would, which is a long time. And so don't be afraid of putting it in there. And, if you forget about it, it's not a big deal. I do encourage you to go in, maybe once a week and just shake that up a little bit, mix it in. I don't know if that helps at all, but I've read somewhere that it helps with getting the scent in there and getting the mixing in the beneficial ingredients of the herbs that we're using. So what it does for me though is if I do that once a week, it helps me remember that I have a jar of oil in the pantry, so that a year from now my wife isn't asking me what that is, and I'm giving her the traditional I don't know answer. So it helps me remember that it's there. Dozer's moving about, right, bud? He says, "Why am I not in this video?" So anyway, I like to go in once a week, give it a little shake. You don't have to do that, but I do it. And then what you're going to do is after that's been in there about, again, I leave it in there for 5 or 6 weeks. We're going to take that out. We're going to use a little snap lock bottle. I like to use a little funnel and a little strainer because we do want to get, we don't want the chunks in there. So we're just going to dump that in. There we go. Let that strain out. There we go. Now that little fine strainer that I had does a really, really nice job. Now, there are some particles still in this, so I don't mind that. I mean, they're super fine. It's not going to affect anything. Matter of fact, as this sits over time, those are going to settle down to the bottom. So if you want, just take this, dump it into another snap lock bottle or another container that you want to use for it, and just leave that bottom part in, and it'll be super clear. The other thing you could do is strain it through a cheesecloth or something like that. It takes a little bit longer, but it will get that out of there. And so that's really up to you. It's about your preference as far as what's in there. Truthfully, by the time I use that, because again, I lost my container. The little container I have, this will last a long time. If you short beard like mine, you're not going to go through a lot. If you have a long, thick, full beard, that's a different story. But you're just going to take this, and you're going to do that 4 or 5 times. Rub it in, massage it into your beard, just like that. Got a nice smell to it. Again, super healthy for your beard. It's going to help it grow faster, fill in thicker, and just look better. All right, and then we're going to seal that up. And again, that'll store forever. Now that's a lot. Now this is an essential oil made with olive oil. You can use that to cook with. You could use that for salad dressings. I mean, there's a wide variety of things that you could use that oil for. But today in particular, I was just really talking about us guys and using it for our personal care in relation to our beard. Once you get that oil in there, of course, then you can use a little wax for the beard, the mustache comb, whatever you need to do, but it makes it look pretty nice. And I'm telling you what, when you're out foraging wild foods, medicinal plants, wild mushrooms, it's really important to look your best in case you run into a, Bigfoot or something like that. You want to impress them. You only get one chance for a first impression. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's just a little something different than what I normally do. But I did want to, again, get the guys involved and show them there are some different ways that we can use this stuff. And it really enhances the enjoyment of gathering these things or growing these things in this case. And really diversifying the usage of them. So thanks a lot for tuning in. And as always, hopefully the next time that you see me, Dozer will be with me and we will be out doing something wild.